hopefully they might listen to this and kind of get a bit of a summing up of where the fans are at too. Right, okay, we're going to move on from that little interlude then, and we're going to talk about other results. Other results. Full disclosure, I only saw the Super League games this week and about 20 minutes of one of the NRL games. I can't even remember which one. That tells you where I'm at with that. And I think you're similar position to me, aren't you, this week, Lee?
Yeah.
So we're going to whiz through these. Women's Challenge Cup, it was week 2, only one game it actually was played this week. It was in Group 3. It was York 46, Wigan 0. Played as a double header at York on Sunday. Wigan battered Bradford last week and got battered by York this week. It shows there's discrepancies between sides at that level. No Vicky Molyneux though for Wigan. That was maybe a big miss. Couple of bits of news. Lee, St Helens versus Army next week in the Challenge Cup is going to be on our league Sunday at 2 p.m. So that's one for people to watch. And the Betfred Women's Challenge Cup semi-finals are going to be played this year as a double header at Warrington's Halliwell Jones Stadium on Sunday the 24th of April. They will be shown live on BBC iPlayer and BBC Online, which is great news. The matches will kick off at 2:30 p.m. and 5 p.m. with the four sides aiming to reach the final, which is going to be played at the men's semi-final doubleheader at Leeds at Ellen Road on the 7th of May. So some good coverage for the women's game there.
Absolutely.
Championship, where it was round 6, Workington 12, Bradford 26. It was the game I picked as the game of the week, but unfortunately no one got fan views in on it. But Barrow 18, London 18, that's an exciting one. And another draw, maybe a bit more unexpected, even more so. Batley 20, Featherstone, all conquering Featherstone 20. We got a fan view on this one.
Yeah, Callum Percy 99 said, well thought out draw, great result for the doggies.
One that was nearly a draw but not quite was Dewsbury 22, Newcastle 24. Whitehaven were in one of the few one-sided games in the Championship this weekend. Whitehaven were battered at home to Sheffield. It was 44-6 to the Eagles. In the double-header at York, 2 big wins for York, because this one was 32 points to 6 over Widnes. And then the Monday Night TV game was Halifax 16, Lee 26. And we got a fan view on this one.
Yeah. Carsten, Neen McDonald just too good for Halifax, and John Asiata can kick. Now, I don't know if you've seen today, Mark, but Uncle Derek was chopsing off on social media again about Leon
how
Kev
dare
Brown
pundits think that other teams
giving
might
no
win
respect
things.
to Lee. You know, man paid to give opinion gives opinion, shocker. You know, had they both talked about Lee, then, you know, I could just see Degsy going, oh, they're giving no respect to Halifax. He's never happier than when he's the centre of attention, is our friend Derek.
Yeah, do you want to take us through the standings where it might justify some of the opinions that Featherstone are better than Lee this year?
Yeah. Featherstone have lost their 100% start but stay unbeaten on 11 points at the top of the league. Lee in second have 10 points with still unbeaten Barrow on 9 in third. Widnes and York have 8 points. Sheffield in 6 have 6 points along with Bradford and Newcastle. Batley have 5 points in 9th. Whitehaven with 4 points at 10th. Halifax and Dewsbury have 2 points each, and London got their first point of the year in 13th. Workington are now the only pointless side at the bottom of the league.
Yeah, some bits of Championship news. Workington Town have announced the signing of fullback Luke Broadbent on a month loan from Warrington. Whitehaven have announced that forward Carl Alstrom has returned to the club following a breakaway from the sport. He's now in his 3rd spell with Haven. Halifax Panthers forward Cole Oakley has made the switch to Championship rivals Dewsbury on an initial 2-week loan, and Newcastle have announced that halfback Dan Coates has returned to the club for the rest of the season. He had signed for London this year ahead of a good season last year in League One with Coventry, but he is a product of the Newcastle Academy. Wheelchair Super League. There was only one game in the Super League this weekend because Hull FC versus North Wales was postponed due to COVID. It's still around. It's still affecting some things, but London Roosters got their first win, 54 points to 37. Was it the first or second, actually? It might be the second. Anyway, they won. London Roosters 54, Warrington 37. Well done to the Roosters. And then in the NRL, it was round 2, and we started with the Storm 15, the Rabbitohs 14, and we got a couple of fan views in on this one, Lee.
Yeah, so Alan Walker with the first one. Never mind the drop goal winner, that mullet just gets better and better. Got to get me one done.
No, it's fucking awful.
What were we saying earlier about shit haircuts?
Yeah, that is something else.
There's some crackers in the
You've got to be
NRL.
exceptional, haven't you, to have a haircut like Pappenhausen's? And he is.
Yeah, he is, to be fair, yeah.
Do you want to give us what Mark said as well?
Yeah, Mark Butler. A deserved win for Melbourne, but the long way round to get there. Melbourne breezed through the first half to build a 14-point lead, and an inept-looking South simply couldn't keep the ball in hand to keep pressure on when attacking. South somehow pulled it all together with 3 late unconverted tries and an outrageous 2-point field goal. They didn't get a sniff in extra time, though, and Pappenhausen won the spoils, sorry.
Yeah, the 2-point field goal was a good effort, though, wasn't it? I did see that. Dragons 16, Panthers 20, so their title defence goes on. Roosters 26, Seagulls 12. Roosters get their first win. The Titans 20, the Warriors 18. The Sharks 18, the Eels 16. The Cowboys 26, the Raiders 6. That was a bit of a spanking for Elliot Whitehead and his team.
Yeah, with Hodgson, there's obviously the injury to Josh Hodgson as well now. He's done his knee again, hasn't he? So he's gone for the rest of the season already.
Yeah,
his last game.
Looks like he's played his last game for the club, doesn't he? Because of a confirmed season-ending knee surgery on an ACL injury suffered in. It was the injury was made worse by him training on the injury that he picked up last week.
Yeah,
it seems like. But yes, that's a shame. The Knights 26, the West Tigers 4. I think Dom Young scored again for the Knights. Bulldogs 10, Broncos 16. There has been
Herbie Farmer scored 2 for the Broncos, didn't he? Was that this week? He scored twice for.
There's a lot of talk about him getting big bucks, isn't there, in his next deal?
Yeah, I think I saw something today that there's going to be a tug of war between NRL sides and Super League sides.
I don't think the Super League sides are going to be throwing money in, so it's probably the Union sides and the NRL sides.
So there might be a tug of war, but I think if there is money involved, we know who's going to win that, don't we? So
yeah. There is a bit of relevant news to talk about from a British perspective in the NRL this week. We've mentioned Josh Hodgson, but worrying kind of reports about St George Illawarra, who issued a statement on current player in England international George Burgess, who's 29. He's reportedly been interviewed by police over an alleged sexual touching incident in Sydney. Reports down under say the incident involved a woman and occurred in the suburb of Mascot. Helena Lambestos of Channel 9 reported that Burgess is due in court on April the 13th. He has been named in the St George squad for next week's game, the 24-man squad, because effectively they don't have enough information yet to say that the NRL integrity, whatever they are, will pull him from that game, so they have to name him because they can't not name him for something that they don't know. That is, it's very strange, but basically that seems problematic, at least for George Burgess, and yeah, it's a shit thing to have to talk about.
Yeah, especially as he got himself fit after his injuries, troubles with us, and seemed to be getting back to be the player that we hoped we'd signed a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but certainly I'm glad that we didn't keep a sex pest, if that's where.
Well, yeah, there is that as well, I suppose.
Yeah. There was another game that we got a fan viewing on. Do you want to take us through that one, Lee?
So it was St Catalans 32 versus Les Lions 16. Alan Walker submitted a review, and I'm going to absolutely butcher the French language now, so bear with me. Saint-Estève Trésiste Catalan fait chuter les leaders Les Lions. In plain English, tomorrow's Drax fucked Maloney in yesterday's Drax.
I like that line. But yeah, Catalans reserves beat Catalans former
old boys.
Old guard, yeah. Great stuff. Well, nice bit of flavour though to end that on. The other results section shows that we'll cover anything that people want us to talk about, which is great stuff. That Alan got in touch on that. Now that's other results boxed off pretty quickly. We're going to move on to make our guesses for the Challenge Cup as the Super League sides get involved. Okay, predictions time. Challenge Cup round 6, and we've got the Super League sides joining. We've got 5 televised games to cover as well, Lee. But we're a bit early with no Thursday night game this week to talk about any of the official squad announcements. But the first game Friday, 7:35 p.m. kickoff on Premier Sports. Remember that, Wigan fans, because that's earlier than normal. Wigan versus Salford on Premier Sports, and we've heard that Bevan French won't be back in for Wigan, and obviously Singleton and Ellis remain suspended. Salford, I don't think picked up any major concerns from their performance their game this week, but Kensio would be the one, wouldn't he? Because he failed his concussion assessment, I think, during the game, so he'll be missing.
And when did they play? Friday night, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll be within the 7 days, so he probably would be playing.
10 days
so
now,
that's,
isn't it? So
yeah, so that's a big loss for Salford.
Yeah,
going
for
forward,
them.
Definitely.
Bibby should be back for Wigan. What's your prediction then on this one? What do you expect to see happen?
I actually think it'll be quite a tight game. I think Salford seem to be a different animal this year. Maybe not the Salford of a couple of years ago when they got to the grand final, but they're definitely a different animal this year than the last couple of seasons. So I think we should win it, but maybe only by 4.
Yeah, I think we'll win it as well. We'll have to overcome Salford's pack and perform better against them than Leeds' pack did against them last week. So we'll see how that goes. But I'd like to think Wigan will be up for this in the right kind of ways. With it being a while since we won the cup, Wigan by 8. Saturday, 2 o'clock on the Sportsman on their YouTube channel. It's Whitehaven versus St Helens, and I know I say no Walmsley, no win, but I have to say getting drawn against the lowest ranked side left in the competition, and they're clearly the highest ranked and unfortunately best side in the competition. I can't see anything other than a St Helens win. I think it might be a competitive first half, but second half will get blown out. I think I'm going to go Saints by 24.
I think I'd go the same. I think the only thing that could possibly make it closer is if Christian Wolf decides to rest a few. Decides to give Roby the week off, maybe Wellesby, people like that, spell a few players. But even then, I think they should have more than enough to beat Whitehaven. So I think, certainly by 20 at least.
Yeah. Saturday, also at 2 p.m. This one's in Featherstone. I can't remember who it was who sent the tweet. I don't always pick up all the tweets. I apologise. But I loved it at the time when I saw it. Someone said, "Oh, this again," to Featherstone hosting random Challenge Cup games. But Sheffield versus Hull FC in Fev at Post Office Road. I like the idea of Sheffield throwing an upset into the mix. 2 sides that John Keir won Challenge Cups with, but I can't see it. Super League side will win. Hull FC by, I'm going to say 18, because I think they might not be perfect.
I'm going to say Hull by 24, because I just think if Connor's in the mood, then if Super League defences can't live with him when he's in the mood, then the Championship defence is really, really not going to be able to live with him.
Yep. Yeah, that's totally fair. The next game, Saturday, 3 o'clock. This is a game that I think it's remarkable that it's not televised. Hull KR versus Lee. I'm going to let you go first on this one. It's the most likely upset for me.
I was just exactly going to say the same thing. If you looked at all of the fixtures, that's the one where you're going to be most likely looking at an upset. Because, if Salford beat us, it's not really an upset, is it? It's 2 Super League sides. But this is the one where you could see a team from the Championship beating a Super League side. I still think, Hull probably should have enough to beat them. But equally, Derek might have promised them a week away in the sun if they beat Hull KR. So I could see Lee maybe getting something out of this game, but I think probably Hull KR by 6.
Yeah, very similar. Hull KR by 4. 3:30 p.m. kickoff. I think that's the right time, but it could be 2:30 p.m. in France. In UK time, 3:30 in France. I've not fact checked that, to be honest. But it's Catalans versus Featherstone. Featherstone's